Something that so many people complicate, which actually isn't that complicated, is getting in shape. So many people think it's this massive, impossible goal that requires so much knowledge and wisdom and experience. And it's like, yes, all that stuff plays a part, especially when you want to get to like the upper echelons of, you know, what you can actually turn your body into. But for the average person who just wants to get in shape, who just wants to improve their body a little bit, it is ridiculously simple. And I think if people understood how simple it was, they would start to get in shape naturally, right? But in most people's minds, it's this massive thing that requires so much effort and is so hard to do, and it requires so much knowledge and so much experience. And man, I'm here to tell you that it is ridiculously simple. And I'm going to break down the core pillars that you need to focus on. And if you do focus on these things over a prolonged period of time, you will improve your physique. Like, this is almost inevitable if you follow these specific principles and if you just tick these boxes and stay consistent over a long period of time. So the first one, which is probably pretty obvious to people, but resistance training, okay? You should more than likely be resistance training. Like, unless you've got some form of injury or something that is, you know, preventing you from being able to engage in resistance training, you should absolutely be hitting the weights regularly. Weight training is one of the best things you could possibly do, especially when it comes to changing your physique. Okay, don't just be that person who solely focuses on cardio. Don't get me wrong, cardio is awesome. There is a place for cardio. It is such a crucial part in, you know, sculpting a great physique and obviously for health reasons as well. But weights are where the true transformation is going to come from. It's what's going to literally shape your body and give you that definition that a lot of people are chasing, right? So first thing, weights. Make sure you're training regularly, at least 3 times a week, right? 3 to 5 times a week, you should be resistance training and training pretty intensely too. Like, when you first start out, you don't really need to worry all too much about intensity of training. I would recommend you just build the consistency first, but once you've been training for a little bit, you need to be focusing on intensity. You need to be showing up with intention, training hard, and not just going through the movements. Go there to train, right? There's actually a big difference between working out or exercising and training. Training is hard. Training is something that you almost dread because you know how intense you're going to go. When you train hard consistently, you've already made a major leap towards a better physique. The second thing is you need to be walking, right? Walking or riding or running, some form of cardio, some form of movement outside of the weights, okay? So as I said, weights are important, weights are amazing, you should absolutely be doing weights, but also do some form of cardio as well, not only just for your body composition, but also for your cardiovascular fitness and your overall health. So weights and some form of cardio. I personally like to do walking. I think walking is one of the best things ever, not only just for your body composition, cardiovascular health, and overall well-being, but also for mental health. When you go for walks, you have this space and this time which is just completely undisturbed, and you can be alone with your thoughts and you can process things and you can think about what you're going to do next, and it's almost like a meditative exercise, right? So the weights, the cardio, it doesn't have to be walking either. It could literally be riding a push bike. It could be running. It could be swimming. It could be whatever it is that you want to do. It could be skipping, anything, literally anything. It could be martial arts. There's been times where my cardio solely was martial arts, right? Whether it was jiu-jitsu or boxing or Muay Thai, whatever it was, I would use the martial arts as a way to get my cardio in. And for those who have ever done any form of martial arts, you know how intense the cardio element is. You know how fit you get. You know how much it forces you to push yourself in the realm of like cardiovascular fitness. Okay, so you've got your weights and you've got your cardio. 2 relatively simple habits, okay? You just make sure you're showing up to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, making sure you're doing some form of cardio per day. If it's walking, like 10,000 steps. If it's, you know, running, obviously it depends on the individual, but I would probably aim for like, I don't know, at least 15 minutes running per day if that's your sole source of cardio, but it depends on who you are, what level you're at, and what cardio type you choose. After that, after you've got your weights locked in and you've got your cardio locked in as well, and you're doing these two things consistently and regularly, then you really should focus on these things at the start as well. But if we're gonna be doing like a progressive thing here, like a checkbox type thing, nutrition is massive. If you are eating processed bullshit, you are not going to get in shape. And yes, there's the whole movement of if it fits your calories, if it fits your macros, IIFYM. I used to be like a hardcore follower of this philosophy of nutrition. Oh, it doesn't matter what type of food it is as long as it fits my macros. No. Honestly, you can go down that path if you want, but I'd highly advise against it, because what it does is it puts a hyper emphasis on the numbers, so the calories and the macros. I don't think it incorporates micronutrients. Now, while those numbers are important, and for the most part, they are going to be the sole reason in which, determines whether or not you do gain muscle or lose fat or whatever it is your goal is, it's not the whole puzzle, right? You have other elements at play, like nutrients, the nutrients of the food, the quality of the food, the fact that your physical body is a creation of the food that you feed it. If you're eating low quality food, you're going to create a low quality physique. I personally like to only eat foods which are whole, organic, like real foods. I don't like to eat anything processed. I don't like to consume shit that's not real, in the sense of like it's man-made or it's got all this hyper processed garbage in it. I'm a sole believer that the higher the quality of the food that you eat, the better your overall health, but also the better the quality of the physique you're going to be able to build. Okay, so start to focus on nutrition. Straight away, the first thing you can do is literally just cut out majority of the processed garbage that you consume, including beers and all that other shit. Like, yes, still have it if you want, I know a lot of people are about balance and whatever. I want a beer on the weekend. Cool. If you do still want that, go for it, right? It's your life. I'm telling people how to live. But my suggestion and my preference is I don't drink. I don't expect anyone else to not drink completely either. But I will say, the more you can stay away from all the drinks and all the processed bullshit and all that garbage, the better your physique is going to be. That's just how it works. If you don't like it, talk to the person who makes the rules and makes the human body, not me. That's just how it is. The cleaner you eat, the more consistent you are, the better your physique is going to be. Now, once you have transitioned to whole real foods, or at least majority of whole real foods, then I would advise you start to look into the numbers a little bit. So you can work it out yourself, reach out to me, I will help you work it out, or you can hire like a coach or a nutritionist or something like that, something along those lines, to help you work out your calories, right? So depending on your goal, it's going to determine the quantity of the food, okay? So now we've got the quality of the food down pat. We're eating whole, real, organic food. We're staying away from processed shit. We're limiting or cutting out completely alcohol and all that other garbage that you want to put in your body. Now we work out the quantity, okay? So again, depending on your goal, it's going to determine the quantity. If you are someone who wants to gain muscle, you're going to need to put yourself in a calorie surplus. If you're someone who wants to lose weight or fat, you're going to have to put yourself in a calorie deficit. Regardless to which way you go, you're going to need to determine your base metabolic rate, BMR, and then your amount of calories that you are eating in order to maintain your current physique. Okay, so once you work out what your maintenance is, you work out your maintenance calories, then you go from there. You either deduct from that or you plus from that, depending on your goals. Again, if you want to go deeper into this, hire a coach, a PT, or reach out to me on Instagram. We can have a chat about it. My Insta is same as my YouTube name. So now you are eating whole, real foods. You've got the quantity down pat. You're eating in accordance with your goal, whatever it may be. The last pillar that I would recommend, there are other pillars, of course. There are so many other things you can talk about, like supplements and optimization and fucking even biohacking and all these different things. But for the purpose of this video, I just want to talk about the four main pillars And that is training, like resistance training, cardio, nutrition, and now recovery. So when it comes to recovery and just overall, like really stress management, that's a big part of it as well, like keeping cortisol low. You need to prioritize it, right? Don't be the person who is, training hard, very consistent in that area, you're hitting your cardio daily, your nutrition's on point, but you're neglecting your sleep and your stress levels are through the roof. You can do it, sure, but like your physique and your overall development in that realm is going to suffer massively. So don't strip yourself of your potential, optimize your recovery, prioritize your sleep, right? Everyone knows it. You should be aiming for about 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep. If you're not getting that, make sure you get it, right? Make it a priority. And everyone says, oh, but blah, 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 I don't have time or this, that. You can have excuses or results. You genuinely can't have both. So you decide what you want more, your excuses or your results. If you do want the results, you absolutely can go to bed earlier. I can almost guarantee you that the reason you're staying up a little bit later than you would like to is because of your phone. I say that because I stay up later than I would like to and need to because of my phone as well. It is a device that is literally like designed to keep you hooked on it, to keep you addicted to it, especially when you've got businesses running from it, you've got friends reaching out, you've got clients, you've got whatever, you're like your phone is constantly blowing up. That is going to be a massive source of distraction. So something that's really helped me in the past is turning my Wi-Fi router off in my house and turning my phone off at nighttime. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Once those things are off, I know it's time to wind down. I can start getting to bed early. So there you go, guys. 4 main pillars, relatively simple, like your training, resistance training, your cardio, your nutrition, including water intake, by the way. Aim for like 3 liters or so a day. Look up your body weight and what works best for you. I'm just saying like the general rule. And then the last one is recovery. And with recovery as well, it's not just all about sleep, it's also about stress management. If you're someone who's stressed through the roof 24/7, you need to get on top of that. You need to implement something that's going to help you manage your stress levels, right? Whatever that is for you. For me personally, I run multiple businesses. Obviously, I've got things going on in life just like everyone else does. Stress is a natural thing that comes with that. Now, I personally love meditation and journaling. I have been doing those 2 habits for over 7 years now, I think. Over 7 years, every single morning, or at least most mornings consistently, waking up, meditation, followed by the journal, and just starting my day with reflection, breath work, internal work, just allowing myself to really ground and not be a constant stress head, but just allow myself to be a little bit zen and, go through life calm without this spiked cortisol 24/7. Now, guys, if you do get on top of these 4 habits that I mentioned, I can guarantee you that your physique will improve. But it is a game of consistency over a long period of time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen in fucking a month, right? But I can promise you, I can absolutely promise you, if you start training consistently with intensity, if you do your cardio daily and you're genuinely hitting like 10,000 steps a day walking or whatever other cardio form it is, if you're eating whole, organic, real food at the right quantity in accordance to your goals, and you're prioritizing your recovery and keeping your stress low, I can guarantee you that your physique is going to improve. This isn't like some pseudoscience shit. This isn't just like assumptions and guessing and blah, blah, blah. No, this is like actual fucking facts. I used to be a PT and, I've seen it firsthand how overcomplicated people make this stuff. Oh, what supplements should I be taking? When should I be training? What's the optimal? I'm just like, bro, don't worry about any of that shit until you've got the core foundational habits locked in. Until you've got those things locked in, all that other stuff is just going to overwhelm you. Build the foundations and then later you can introduce new things. But if you try and introduce too much at once, all that's going to happen is you're going to overwhelm yourself and you're going to quit. Start slow, build upon that, build upon that, build upon that. And the more that you put into this, like your fitness and your health, the more you'll get out. And before you know it, you'll be looking at yourself in the mirror and you'll be like, oh my God, I am genuinely fucking so proud of the physique that I've built. Because there are many things in this world which are fake and which can be like a facade. A physique is not one of them. You cannot fake a physique. You cannot, pretend to have a good physique. Your physique is a direct reflection of your habits, your health habits, right? And so if you have a good physique, it is almost like a status symbol, honestly. Like, I'm not saying you should work out and do all this stuff for what other people think, but it truly is a status symbol, because anyone with a fit physique, I don't care what gender, what age, etc., if they have a fit physique, I automatically know they are a disciplined person. They have high standards for themselves. And you know, people might be thinking, oh, Ricky, but you can cheat a physique, you can take steroids. Yeah, you can take steroids, but that doesn't build you like a good physique. I know plenty of people on steroids and their physiques still look like shit because they're neglecting the foundational habits, right? And also when it comes to steroids, like I'm not going to say like I'm completely against, I am against steroids unless you are a bodybuilder. That's how I'll say it. I'm against steroids unless you are competing in a show as a bodybuilder where other people are also on steroids, because you're obviously going to put yourself at a competitive disadvantage if you don't also do what they're doing. But unless you're a bodybuilder, I don't really see the need for it. And then it's a whole different conversation for like TRT in older men, and that's a whole different conversation for a whole different video. But generally speaking, get the 4 foundational pillars down pat. Intense, consistent training, consistent tracking of whole real food to the quantity that's aligned with your goals, your cardio, whatever that is for you, walking, running, bike riding, swimming, whatever, and your recovery, sleep, and stress optimization. If you lock those things in, your physique will improve. I guarantee you. Do it consistently for 3 months and just see what happens. Just see what happens. Who knows what you could look like if you just stayed consistent. Thank you guys. I hope you got value from this video. If you did, feel free to give it a like, comment below what you think, and share it with your friends. If you want to see more stuff like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel below or the Spotify below, and I will see you on the next video.